Greetings and thank you for tuning in to the Earth Angels Writing YouTube channel. If you would like to subscribe, go ahead and do that now. If you would like to hit the notification button, you can do that as well. I will be delivering weekly spiritual messages based on the times we are now living in and covering trending news and topics. Today I want to talk about the schools and the school system in America. And this is like an urgent message and warning to parents, specifically black parents, minority parents. Be careful of these schools that you send your children to. Really pray about it. Really have a spiritual eye and use discernment. Because there are a lot of things and forces going on behind the scenes in these schools that is not beneficial to you, your family, and specifically your child or children that you have there. And it's not going to be like, well, my child can tell me. Well, if it's spiritual and it's something that's outside of your child's understanding, and they don't know to see what's going on, they're not going to be able to tell you and communicate it. Like one thing that I see, because I'm a teacher and I work in the schools, it's a lot of witchcraft. Some of you may not believe that witchcraft is real, but there's a lot of people that, it's a falling craft, I should say, because there's a lot of people that are into witchcraft and Satanism, and they bring that, specifically white teachers, and they bring that witchcraft and Satanism into the school system. And they try to hide it and pretend. So look for any type of tattoos, skull and bones tattoos, or anything that's out of the ordinary to make you think that this person is not who they portray. And I know I worked with a teacher, and all year he would cover up his arms and everything. And I'm not saying everybody that had these tattoos are evil, but you really do have to be careful. And then later, toward the end of the school year, we were having an outdoor activity. Then, he had on the shorter sleeve shirt, and I saw all these bones and crossbones and kind of Satanists, I would try to say, or I don't really know what you would call it, but it gave me a really eerie feeling when I had a different, look on him, because he would always be more professional. And that's when I have to start getting into the spiritual and really praying and seeing and asking the Lord to really show me and reveal to me people's true intentions and what's really going on. And then I had an incident with another teacher was into witchcraft, and she had all the children in houses. And we know if you're like a house, like they got that house of Darion with Beyonce, those are into witchcraft kind of things. And I told her, I said, first she told it to me as a group. So then she started using the word houses. And the kids are not going to pick up on that. They're not going to understand that to even tell you. And these were middle school students. And then when she said houses, I was like, oh, houses, because I, know the Harry Potter stories. I said, that's, more like witchcraft. And she was like, yeah, I know. And I said, well, some parents are not going to want their children to be a part of that. Well, that's why I don't tell the parents. I tell them groups. So this is what I'm saying. I'm just using these examples to say you really have to be careful. Everything that looks good is not good. Everything that glitter ain't gold. Yeah, you can go into the school and take a walk through and look at the classroom and it look good. That don't mean your child is learning anything. That don't mean that evil things are not going on in that classroom with teachers. That don't mean that if a teacher is nice to you, that they have your child's best interest at heart. So the only thing I could say, the only way you really gonna know is ask the Lord to show you. Use the Holy Spirit and use discernment. And I have to do that every time. I do that too. And the more you do it, the quicker things are going to come to you. And if the Lord have you focus on something, say you walk into school and maybe the principal is being nice to you, but you just don't get a good feeling. Trust that. Trust that. And maybe you may not ever see any proof of your feelings. And sometimes that's why we doubt it. But trust that. That's the Holy Spirit. That's that intuition telling you something that's beyond your sight and beyond your understanding. So really speak to your children. Really try to see what's going on. Be involved. And I know a lot of you send your children to these schools in these impoverished communities. You definitely really have to be careful, because witchcraft and Satan is working through these teachers and also through these evil children. I hate to say it, every child is not a child of God. You know, Satan uses a lot of these children who come from these evil parents, or even children who just don't have the Lord in their life, just don't have a relationship with the Lord. You know, they can easily be used, you know, to do Satan will, to bully other kids, to fight other kids. I mean, some of these kids are even getting into fights, you know, these teenagers where they're killing kids, you know, hitting their head or dying. I know those were some stories last year. So you really have to talk to your children and talk to them about who they're, older children too, who they're hanging around, what they're doing. You know, sometimes it's best to walk away. You don't need to be fighting, because people fight dirty. You know, especially if you're a child of God, they come in to gang up on you. You know, you like a lion and they like hyenas, and they gonna get 5 hyenas on you. So I'm not saying don't tell your children to defend themselves if they have to, but they really have to be careful and choose their battle wisely, because some people can get you caught up in something and, you know, provoke you to a fight, and they don't have no intentions on fighting fairly. You know, Satan is working and using them people, and you can fall and hit your head a certain way, and that's gone. And we don't know, you know, the calling these children have on their lives. You know, we just see it. We may hear it on the news. Oh, that was so sad. But you don't know and have no idea what the Lord is using those children for, or had in mind for them, and their life got cut short. Or even somebody got them caught up in something where they end up in the criminal justice system. So just really be careful with your children, and especially with these schools and these teachers, and especially what's going on with them in these schools. And you need to go in the spiritual and ask the Lord. Some of you, the Lord may guide you to homeschool. Some of you, the Lord may guide you to another school. Some of you, the Lord may guide you to a specific teacher. Because I know for all my students, I fight for them spiritually, mentally, and physically. And so I take a lot of heat from that, because, you know, it's I see a lot of the politics and a lot of ungodly and unholiness that goes on in these schools. And so when people are into witchcraft, you know, they see that. They can see if you have any type of spiritual power. I'm not a witch, but I definitely have a spiritual power and connection to the Lord and to the higher creator, and I could definitely get some things done in the spiritual that's going to manifest on the physical. So they know that, and they come from me. But I take that. I take that as a child of God, and I'm going to keep doing my work in His will. So just be careful. I know school is getting out, and when you go back into school in the fall, pray and make sure that that's the school, the principal, the teacher. Know your rights. If your child needs any type of special education, know your rights, because I've seen parents get bullied with that. Don't trust everything nobody's saying. I'm not saying be rude and disrespectful and go to the school and curse them out. Be nice. Be, you know, professional. Be civilized. But stand your ground and protect your child. All right. Thank you for tuning in.